Chapter 7. Unlocking the Power of Emotional Intelligence and Empathy. Unlocking the power of emotional intelligence and empathy is like discovering a superpower you never knew you had. Imagine navigating life's chaotic roller coaster with the finesse of a seasoned surfer riding the waves. From handling the unexpected twists and turns of relationships to mastering your emotions in high-pressure situations, emotional intelligence, EI, equips you with invaluable skills that enhance personal well-being and elevate your social interactions. Think of EI as your secret weapon for tackling life's challenges with grace and understanding. In this chapter, we will delve into the fascinating world of emotional intelligence and empathy, making complex concepts easy and relatable, even if you're new to the topic. You'll learn the essentials of recognizing and managing your own emotions, which is the foundation for building strong self-awareness and self-regulation skills. We'll also explore how your emotions can motivate you to achieve your goals, turning setbacks into stepping stones. But that's not all. Understanding others' emotions and using empathy to connect on a deeper level will transform how you relate to friends, family, and even classmates. So, buckle up and get ready for a journey that promises to make you a rock star in emotional intelligence and empathy. What is emotional intelligence? Understanding the concept of emotional intelligence, EI, is crucial, especially for teenagers. Let's break it down in a way that's easy and fun to grasp. Imagine you're on a roller coaster. Emotions are like those twists, turns, and drops. Learning emotional intelligence is like mastering how to ride that roller coaster without losing your mind or lunch. To start with, EI involves recognizing, understanding, and managing your own emotions. Picture you're having a rough day at school. Maybe you bombed a test or had an argument with a friend. The first step is recognizing that you're feeling upset. Sounds simple, right? But in reality, it can be tricky. We often mix up our feelings, thinking we're angry when we might actually be scared or sad. That's why self-awareness is important. It's about knowing what you're really feeling underneath all those layers. Once you've identified your emotions, the next step is understanding why you're feeling this way. This means digging a little deeper. Did you feel unprepared for the test because you didn't study enough? Or was it something else? Understanding the why helps you gain control over these emotions rather than letting them turn into a runaway train. Managing your emotions is where the magic happens. Imagine your emotions as wild horses. If you can learn to ride them, you won't get trampled. Managing emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It's more about channeling them in a healthy way. Let's say you're mad about that test score. Instead of snapping at your friends, maybe you could go for a run or draw something to release that energy. This way, you're dealing with the emotion constructively instead of letting it fester. But wait, there's more. Emotional intelligence also includes being aware of and influencing the emotions of others. Have you ever noticed how laughter is contagious? Just like that, your mood can affect those around you. So, understanding the emotions of others means being empathetic. It's like having a social radar that picks up on other people's feelings even if they don't say anything. Suppose you see a classmate looking down. Asking if they're okay shows empathy and can sometimes make a world of difference to them. Furthermore, influencing emotions isn't about manipulating people. It's about creating positive environments. For example, if you notice tension in a group project, a well-timed joke or a show of appreciation can lighten the mood and encourage teamwork. Knowing how to navigate these waters effectively can make you a rock star in social situations. Key aspects of emotional intelligence are broken down into 5 main areas: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Think of these like pieces of a puzzle that together form the complete picture of EI. Self-awareness, as mentioned, is recognizing your own emotions. Self-regulation is all about managing those emotions, so they don't manage you. It's like being a thermostat rather than a thermometer. You control the temperature instead of just reacting to it. Motivation is another biggie. It's using your emotions to fuel your goals rather than hinder them. Let's say you want to make the basketball team. Instead of letting fear of failure stop you, use that nervous energy to practice harder and improve. Motivated individuals don't shy away from challenges. They embrace them. Empathy, as we touched on earlier, is connecting with others' emotions. It's not just about saying, "I understand," but truly imagining yourself in someone else's shoes. This skill builds deeper connections and fosters trust. When people see that you genuinely care about their feelings, they're more likely to open up and support you in return. Lastly, social skills encompass everything from effective communication to conflict resolution. Great social skills mean you can convey your thoughts clearly, listen actively, and resolve disagreements without drama. Imagine you're working on a group project and things aren't going smoothly. Having good social skills means you can address issues calmly, suggest solutions, and motivate everyone to pull together. Developing emotional intelligence helps you effectively navigate social interactions and challenges. School, home, or friendships, life throws many curveballs. Being emotionally intelligent equips you to handle stress better, build stronger relationships, and even perform better academically. Ever wonder why some people seem to breeze through tough situations? Often it's because they've honed their EI skills. Social interactions often resemble a dance. Sometimes it's fast-paced and exciting. Other times, it's slow and heavy. Being emotionally intelligent means you can change your steps according to the rhythm. If someone's feeling low, you know how to be supportive. If tensions rise, you can diffuse situations with a calm demeanor. Challenges will come in various forms. Maybe you'll face peer pressure or academic stress. With EI, you'll have a toolkit ready to tackle these hurdles. For instance, if you're stressed about homework, you can take a pause, understand what's stressing you out, and then devise a plan to tackle it bit by bit. Being emotionally intelligent isn't about never getting stressed. It's about handling stress in ways that don't overwhelm you. Key components of emotional intelligence. Let's dive into the intriguing world of emotional intelligence, shall we? Understanding and mastering this set of skills can dramatically change how you relate to yourself and others. Imagine it as a superpower, but instead of flying or becoming invisible, it's about navigating your own emotions and connecting with others on a deeper level. Intrigued? You should be. First up is self-awareness. This might sound like some new-age mumbo-jumbo, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Have you ever realized you're angry or anxious before you even know why? That's self-awareness in action. It's all about recognizing your own emotional states and what triggers them. Picture this: you're about to take a big exam and suddenly your hands start to sweat and your heart pounds. Instead of spiraling into panic, you acknowledge these feelings and understand they're signs of anxiety. By identifying these cues, you're already one step ahead in managing them. Next is self-regulation, which is basically the ability to keep your cool when life throws lemons at you. Imagine you're at a party and someone makes an offhand comment that really ticks you off. Self-regulation helps you pause, take a deep breath, and respond calmly without launching into a full-blown rant. It's not about suppressing your emotions, but rather managing your reactions in a healthy way. When you master self-regulation, you're less likely to act impulsively and more likely to handle situations with grace and composure. Now let's talk about motivation. This isn't just about getting pumped for a sports match or a school project. It's about using your emotions to fuel your persistence and enthusiasm toward achieving goals. Think of it like this. You've set your sights on acing your finals. Naturally, there will be days when you'd rather binge watch your favorite series than hit the books. But if you're emotionally intelligent, you can harness your feelings, like the anticipation of summer break or the pride of achieving high marks, to keep pushing forward. It's like having an internal coach who's always cheering you on. On to empathy, the secret sauce in building meaningful relationships. Empathy means understanding and sharing the feelings of others as if they were your own. Imagine a friend tells you they're going through a tough time at home. Instead of offering generic advice or quickly changing the subject, you listen deeply and try to feel what they're experiencing. This level of empathy helps you connect on a much deeper level, making your friend feel truly heard and supported. It's like putting yourself in their shoes, even if just for a moment. Last, but definitely not least, are social skills. These are the skills that help you navigate social situations effectively, from chatting with classmates to resolving conflicts. Effective communication is a big part of this. Suppose you're working on a group project, and there's a disagreement about which direction to take. Good social skills would involve listening to everyone's viewpoints, finding common ground, and suggesting a compromise. Being able to communicate clearly and resolve conflicts doesn't just make you a better team player. It also sets the stage for stronger, healthier relationships. Why emotional intelligence matters. Emotional intelligence, or EI for short, is like a superpower that can make life not only manageable, but genuinely enjoyable. It's all about understanding and managing your emotions while also being mindful of others. This skill can turn you from just another face in the crowd into someone who connects with people on a whole new level. Let's dive into why emotional intelligence is so important and how it can transform various aspects of our lives. First up, let's talk about relationships. Ever notice how some friendships just click and others feel like a constant struggle? That's where EI comes into play. Imagine having the ability to understand when your friend is feeling down without them saying a word. Maybe they had a bad day, and they're upset about something at school. Being able to pick up on these cues means you can be there for them, offering support and strengthening your bond. Emotional intelligence isn't just about reading other people, though. It's also about responding appropriately. Instead of accidentally making things worse by brushing off their feelings, you can provide the comfort and empathy they need. Stronger relationships aren't just good for your social life. They're like a warm, fuzzy blanket that makes you feel secure and happy. In a nutshell, better EI leads to better friendships and stronger relationships overall. Now let's switch gears and talk about school. Have you ever been so stressed about exams that you couldn't focus on studying? Or maybe you get really nervous during presentations and end up forgetting everything you want to say. Emotional intelligence can help with that too. Managing stress is a big part of doing well academically. When you're good at regulating your emotions, you can keep calm during those nerve-wracking moments. Remembering to take deep breaths or giving yourself a little pep talk can work wonders. This ability to stay focused even when you're under pressure not only helps you perform better on tests, but also makes learning more enjoyable. So, if you want to ace your classes and keep your cool, boosting your EI is a smart move. Next on the list is well-being. Life can be a roller coaster of emotions. One moment, you're on top of the world, the next, you're down in the dumps. Having high emotional intelligence is like having an emotional toolkit. It helps you handle life's ups and downs more effectively. For instance, instead of letting a bad grade ruin your week, you can look at it as a learning opportunity. Effective emotion regulation means you don't let stress build up until it becomes overwhelming. By dealing with your feelings in healthier ways, such as talking to someone you trust or engaging in activities you love, you can maintain mental balance. This doesn't just reduce stress, but also supports your overall mental health, making you feel happier and more stable. Lastly, let's chat about professional success. You might think that emotional intelligence doesn't apply much until you're out in the working world, but you'd be mistaken. Developing EI now sets the stage for future career success. Picture yourself in a job interview. Being able to present yourself calmly and confidently is a major plus. Plus, once you land that job, EI will help you work well with others. Whether you're leading a team or collaborating on a project, understanding and managing emotions makes for a smoother, more productive experience. Leaders with high emotional intelligence inspire their teams and foster a positive work environment, which often leads to career advancement. So, Honing your EI skills now can open doors and create opportunities you haven't even imagined yet. The power of empathy. Empathy plays a crucial role in emotional intelligence, a skill that can significantly affect our relationships and overall well-being. Understanding and leveraging empathy enables us to build trust, resolve conflicts, promote kindness, and enhance communication, all essential components for thriving interpersonal connections. Let's start with building trust. Trust sounds like a solid foundation, doesn't it? Well, empathy is the secret ingredient that makes this foundation rock steady. When you genuinely understand someone else's perspective, it's easier for them to feel seen and heard. Picture this. Your friend is upset because they didn't do well on an exam. Instead of shrugging it off or giving unsolicited advice, empathize by acknowledging their feelings. Say something like, "I get why you're feeling down. You studied so hard." This simple act demonstrates you acknowledge their emotions, making them more likely to trust you. It helps remove barriers and foster deeper connections. Over time, these small gestures accumulate, building a sturdy fortress of trust in friendships, family relationships, and even team dynamics at school or work. Next up is resolving conflicts. Admit it. We've all had those moments where we just can't see eye to eye with someone. It's like talking to a wall, right? This is where empathy swoops in like a superhero. By putting yourself in the other person's shoes, you gain insight into their viewpoint, essentially seeing problems through their eyes. For instance, if you disagree with a classmate about a project approach, instead of butting heads, try to understand why they believe their method will work. You could say, "Can you explain why you think this way?" By opening up to their perspective, not only are you validating their feelings, but you also create an opportunity for constructive dialogue. This makes it easier to find common ground and collaborate effectively. The magic of empathy is that it dissolves tension and transforms potential arguments into meaningful conversations. Promoting kindness might be the warmest benefit of empathy. Imagine how different the world would be if everyone took a moment to consider others' feelings before acting. Empathy encourages compassionate actions and paves the way for a kinder society. Let's say you notice a new student sitting alone during lunch. An empathetic approach would involve recognizing how isolating that must feel and deciding to invite them to join your group. Even small acts like offering a compliment or providing emotional support when someone is having a bad day can make a huge difference. Kindness doesn't just benefit the recipient. It also creates a positive feedback loop, enhancing your own emotional well-being. When you cultivate empathy, you essentially plant seeds of kindness that grow and spread, creating a more nurturing and supportive environment for everyone. Now let's talk about enhancing communication. Ever felt like someone was speaking a foreign language even though you both were speaking English? That's probably because true communication isn't just about words, it's about understanding. Empathy supercharges your listening skills, making your conversations more meaningful. Imagine your friend is venting about a stressful situation at home. Instead of mentally planning what you'll say next, focus entirely on them. Nod, maintain eye contact, and express verbal affirmations like, "That sounds really tough." This shows that you're fully engaged and genuinely care about their experience. People love to be heard, and when you listen with empathy, you're not just hearing words, you're connecting with emotions. This depth of understanding can lead to more honest and open dialogues, strengthening the bonds you have with others. To make this engaging for you, let's add an interactive activity, an empathy exercise. Try this out with a friend or family member. Sit facing each other and each take turns sharing a recent emotional experience. The listener's job is to respond solely with empathetic statements like, "That must have been difficult for you," or "I understand why you're feeling this way." Afterward, discuss how this exercise made you feel. Did it help you connect better? Did you learn something new about each other? This activity is not just fun. It also gives you practical practice in honing your empathetic skills. Incorporating visual elements can also boost your understanding of empathy. Create an emotional check-in chart, a simple chart where you note down your emotions and their triggers daily. Over time, review these entries to recognize patterns and better understand your emotional responses. This not only boosts self-awareness, but also heightens your empathy towards others experiencing similar emotions. For example, if you frequently feel anxious before tests, you'll better empathize with classmates who share that anxiety. You can even extend this activity to include friends or family members, turning it into a collaborative effort to improve collective emotional intelligence. Strategies for developing emotional intelligence and empathy. Picture this. You're in a crowded room, music bumping, people chatting, and you're trying to find your best friend who just texted saying they're feeling down and need someone to talk to. To be the awesome friend you aim to be, you'd have to really tune into their emotions, right? That's where emotional intelligence and empathy come in. Let's dive into practical ways to buff up these skills so you can level up your relationships and overall well-being. First up is practice self-reflection. Think of this as your daily emotional check-in. Imagine your mind is like a busy highway during rush hour, emotions zipping by like cars. If you never stop to see what's going on, things could crash. So take a few minutes each day to hit pause, sit quietly, breathe deeply, and ask yourself how you're feeling. Maybe jot it down in a journal. Were you frustrated when that math problem stumped you? Elated when your crush said hi? Understanding these feelings helps you manage them better. When you practice self-reflection, think about the why behind your emotions. Did you feel anxious before giving that class presentation because you were unprepared? Or was it because you worried about being judged? The more you dig into your emotions, the better you'll understand your triggers and reactions. It's like being your own emotion detective. All right, now let's move on to listen actively. Ever talked to someone and felt they were miles away mentally? Not fun, right? Active listening means putting away distractions, yes, even your phone, and fully focusing on whoever's talking to you. Nod along, make eye contact, and throw in some mm-hms to show you're engaged. Imagine your friend tells you they're stressed about upcoming exams. Instead of immediately saying, "Oh, you'll do fine," try responding with, "I hear you. What part of the exam worries you the most?" This shows you're not just hearing words, but actually caring about the emotions behind them. And here's a secret. The more you practice active listening, the more people will appreciate and trust you. Up next is ask questions. Have you ever noticed how superheroes seem to know what others are thinking? Well, asking questions is your superpower to better understand those around you. When someone shares something emotional, follow up with questions that show you're truly interested in their feelings. For instance, if a friend says they're bummed about a fight with their sibling, don't just leave it at that. Ask, "What happened during the fight?" Or, "How did that make you feel?" Asking these questions can uncover layers of emotions your friend might not even realize they had. Plus, it shows you care enough to want to understand them deeply. Lastly, let's talk about reading nonverbal cues. Much of our communication isn't spoken. It's shown through body language and facial expressions. Think about a time when a friend said they were fine, but their slumped shoulders and teary eyes told a different story. Tuning into these nonverbal signals can give you a clearer picture of how someone really feels. Start practicing by observing people around you. Notice how their expressions change when they're excited, sad, or irritated. Look for crossed arms, tapping feet, or furrowed brows. These tiny clues can speak volumes. Next time you're having a conversation, try to align what the person's saying with their body language. If there's a mismatch, gentle probing with questions like, "You say you're okay, but you seem tense. Want to talk about it?" can help clear things up. As you journey through life honing these skills, remember it's all about balance. You don't have to be perfect, just genuine. People are pretty good at sniffing out pretense, so your authentic efforts to understand and connect will go a long way. Summary and reflections. All right, so we've tackled the roller coaster of emotions and figured out how to steer that ride with some pretty nifty tools. By understanding your own feelings, you're not just along for the ride, you're in the driver's seat. Add empathy into the mix, and suddenly you've got a social radar that helps you navigate friendships and relationships like a pro. It's all about recognizing when someone needs a nudge or a hug, and knowing how to keep your cool even when life throws some serious loop-de-loops your way. Now imagine what life would be like with these superpowers. Your ability to manage stress means those exams won't seem as scary, and connecting with others becomes a breeze. Whether it's handling a group project without drama or being the friend everyone trusts, emotional intelligence and empathy can seriously level up your game. So keep practicing these skills and watch as your personal well-being and relationships soar to new heights.